I get this weird knot in my stomach sometimes, maybe at a crowded restaurant or a big party. It's like my brain is suddenly screaming at me to escape, even if I'm with friends and having a decent time. The vibe just instantly feels wrong. Is that just introversion hitting its absolute limit?
Not necessarily. What you're describing sounds more like sensory overload, which is a distinct physiological response.
Right.
It is your nervous system reacting to a severe mismatch between your internal processing capacity and the external environmental demands. While many people experience this occasionally, the material from the Tonin blog emphasizes that this is an intense, frequent reality for neurodivergent individuals,
Yeah.
like those with autism or ADHD.
I read this brilliant analogy the other day in those same materials about how to visualize sensory overload, but I'd love for you to break it down. It was about a bouncer at a nightclub.
Oh, it is a perfect way to visualize it. Think of your brain's sensory filter like a bouncer at the door of an exclusive club.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
For a neurotypical person, that bouncer is an absolute pro. They only let the VIPs into the club, meaning the specific person you are directly talking to, the relevant conversation. The bouncer keeps all the background noise, the clinking glasses, the hum of the air conditioner, the flashing lights.
Firmly outside behind the velvet rope.
Right, so the club stays relatively calm.
Makes sense.
But for a neurodivergent brain, that bouncer is completely overwhelmed. The velvet rope is gone. The bouncer just opens the doors and lets every single sight, sound, smell, and texture into the club all at once, and they all have VIP passes.
Wow.
It creates pure chaos inside the club. When your brain is working that hard just to process the physical environment you are standing in, you have zero bandwidth left to decode the actual social interaction.
That sounds incredibly exhausting.
What's fascinating here is the scale of this experience. Roughly 15 to 20% of the world's population is neurodivergent. Furthermore, about 85% of autistic adults report significant social challenges.
Those are huge numbers.
They are. When we look at that data, it becomes very clear that this off feeling, this profound sensory and social overwhelm, is not a personal flaw or a failure to adapt. It is a fundamental difference in how the brain's operating system processes the world. It is a matter of hardware, not software.
Speaking of software, the actual decoding of social cues, running that translation program in your head, sounds just as draining. So much of human communication relies on unspoken language, the subtle shift in tone, a tiny facial expression, a sarcastic inflection.
Translating those neurotypical nonverbal cues can be a monumental task. Let's look at a specific example from the text. Imagine someone says the words, "I'm fine," but they say it with a flat, tense, clipped tone of voice.
A neurotypical brain automatically synthesizes the words and the tone together and instantly concludes they're definitely not fine.
Yes, it's an automatic calculation, but a neurodivergent brain might lock onto the literal words spoken, "I'm fine," and completely miss or misinterpret the emotional data carried in the tone.
Creating a jarring mismatch.
Exactly. Your nervous system registers that something is inconsistent, that the atmosphere feels tense or off, but because the literal words don't match that atmospheric tension, it creates a deep sense of unease and confusion. Running that manual translation software in the background of every single conversation is incredibly draining.
It's like having 20 high processing tabs open on your browser and wondering why the computer's fan is spinning so loudly.